Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi barakatuh. Inshallah, today in this recording, we are together reading Surat An-Nasr. Surat An-Nasr is considered one of the smallest surahs in the whole of the Quran. It's surah number 110 and consists of just 3 ayahs. Now let us start. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وبالصلاة على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Let's have a quick look at the surah. As all surahs do, this is the name of the surah, Surat An-Nasr, and then Al-Basmala. Al-Basmala means to say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is called Al-Basmala. What about saying أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم? This is called al-isti'adha. So when we say, have you said al-isti'adha before reading the Quran? This means that have you said أعوذ بالله and continue? And then al-basmala is saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. There is just one surah in the Quran that does not start with the Basmala, which is Surah At-Tawbah. Inshallah, we come to it and we just discuss a little bit regarding that surah. But now we are in Surah An-Nasr. 3 ayahs, and I want to tell you something, that the number of the surah is on the left-hand side. Okay? The number of the surah is written after, at the end of the surah. So we start reading from right to left, of course, and then the number of the surah is here. And I, inshallah, will try to have just a recording to show the signs of the Mus'haf, of the Quran, the stopping signs, and also the numbers, because some of you still are confused regarding reading the numbers of the ayahs. Okay, let us start from ayah number 1. Now, in ayah number 1, we have إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ. Let's read it together. Now here. This is a dal. Maybe it doesn't show very well. Okay. We start with a hamza kasra. إِذَا. Make sure that this dhal is not pronounced as za. Okay? This is not correct pronunciation. So, how do we pronounce it properly? Tuck the tongue outside the mouth. Let the tip of the tongue touches the edge of the upper 2 teeth and pronounce the, إِذَا. And then the alif here, as we all know, is 2 counts. So we say إِذَا, 2 counts. Don't say إِذَا جَاءَ, إِذَا جَاءَ. No. In this case, we haven't pronounced the alif. So don't forget the alif. إِذَا. And then جَاءَ. Now the jim is one of the letters that has the strong character, shidda, meaning that the exit closes, so no sound runs, no air runs. Okay? So we start by a closed exit. The jim is pronounced by 2 parts. The middle part of the tongue rises up and touches the upper palate. So we say ad. This is the sukoon jim. A total termination of the sound and the air. So we start from there and then open the exit for the fatha. Jaa. Now, here, this is mad. Why is this mad? Why is this elongation? Why do we have this elongation sign? It's called alamatul mad. Okay, it's a wave-like shape. Why is it called, why is there actually this elongation? There's this elongation because the Hamza came after the Alif. And the Alif here, of course, at all times, it's harf mad. It's an elongated letter. Because the Hamza exists after it, then we elongate our pronunciation. How long? It's either 4 counts or 5 counts. So we say جاء if I'm going to connect. What if I'm going to stop there? If I'm going to stop on this word, then I'm going to elongate it. Could be till 6 counts. Because I have a Hamza at the end. Now this mad, first of all, is called mad muttasil, connected mad. Why is it connected? What is connected? The reason of the mad, which is the Hamza, coming after harf al-mad, which in this case is the alif, in one word. So this is one word. The jim, the alif, and the Hamza is one word. And this is called mad muttasil, connected mad, because the Hamza and the alif occurred in the same word. Okay, so we are going to extend it 4 or 5 counts, but if we stop here, we are going to extend it 6 counts, plus that we are going to make something called nabr. Nabr means to emphasize on the letter. And listen if I do not do the nabr. Ja. The Hamza is almost not existing, okay? So the nabr makes the Hamza heard. Ja. Okay? But this is not a place to stop in. Actually, we are just, giving examples so that we understand more and more. We move to the next word. Where is the elevated letters? The Sad is elevated and the Ra also is elevated. As we mentioned before, these are the letters of elevation. The Sad, the Dad, حروف التفخيم, okay? The Ta and Dha. These are the letters that have the same shape, head shape, okay? 4. And then comes the letter Qaf, and the letter Ghain, and the letter Kha. So these are 7 letters elevated at all times. But the Ra is not one of them, and I marked the Ra here. So the Ra with a Fatha and the Ra with a Dhamma are elevated. Okay? The Ra with a Kasra is not elevated, it's lowered. So here we have a Ra with a Dhamma. What about this Sad? This Sad has a Sukoon on it. So what does the Sad has as characters? It has Rakhawa, softness. So the sound is going to run. Now, okay? And it also has a whistling sound. So here we are going to pronounce it like this. Nasru. And be careful, the noon is not elevated. So don't say ma, it's na, nasru. If we connect, this Hamzatul Wasli is going to be omitted, and the lam, and the first lam, because this is lam shamsiyya. So we are going to move from the ra dhamma to the lam shadda. Nasrullahi. This lam is elevated. Why? Because it's in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also it's preceded by a dhamma letter. The name of Allah, if preceded with the dhamma letter or a fatha letter, the lam is going to be elevated. Okay? So we include here also the letter lam if it's preceded by a dhamma or a fatha. Very good. Now let's move forward. We have a kasra here, and then we have waw fatha. Are we going to pronounce hamzatul wasli? No, it's going to be omitted. And then we have this lam qamariya. Qamariya means we are going to read it, and we can see very well the sukoon on top of it. This means that we are going to read this lam, because the sukoon on any letter means that it is idhar, idhar, okay? So we are going to say well. This lam has a very has a character that we notice it when it is sukoon, and this character is tawassut or bayniya, or in English in between, meaning that it needs a little bit longer time to be pronounced. This has bayniya, and the sad has rakhawa, meaning that it's soft, the sound runs. Which one takes longer time in pronunciation? The sad, because it has softness, it has rakhawa. But the lam is less than in the time, it takes less time than the sad. Of course, we are talking about a fraction of a second, okay? So we say Nasrullahi wal fath. What about this ta? It also has a sukoon, and the ta has hams. It doesn't have qalqala, it has hams. So we say wal fath, wal fath. The word is wal fathu. But if we are going to stop, this ha, this dhamma, is going to turn to a sukoon. And the ha has rakhawa also, so the sound runs, and it also has hams. We have two letters after each other having hams. So when we stop on this word, what should we take care of? We should take care of the hams in the ta, and the hams also and rakhawa in the letter ha. So we pronounce the hams in the ta first, and then we pronounce the ha with its rakhawa and hams. So we say wal fath. Okay, now let's move to the next ayahs and see how are we going to read the other ayahs, inshallah. Okay. Okay. Now, wara, wara. So we say wara'ayta, wa-ra. This ra is elevated, but there's no other elevated letter. So the waw, we pronounce it wa, wa. So it's wara'ayta, ayta. Okay? We are going to connect. Are we going to pronounce this? No, we are going to omit it. What about the lam? It's also going to be omitted in the pronunciation because it has a shadda letter before it, and the shadda letter always starts with a sukoon. The lam is sukoon, and the noon after it is a sukoon. So we cannot pronounce two sukoon after each other when we are connecting our pronunciation. So we cancel the pronunciation of the lam. So we are going to move from the ta fatha to the noon shadda. And the noon shadda, as we all know, has a 2 counts ghunna. And the 2 counts alif. So, وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْ. Yad. This is qalqala. Okay, the dal sakina is qalqala. And then we have khu. It's an elevated letter. It's a 3rd degree elevation. Okay, the kha fatha, or whatever the letter of tafkhim is. Kha fatha alif is the highest, then comes the fatha, and then comes the dhamma. So this is the third level tafkhim. So we say yadkhu, yadkhuluna. 2 counts for the mad wow, a sukoon wow with a dhamma before it, 2 counts, and then we have a noon fatha. Yadkhuluna. And be careful. This qalqala, okay, you just turbulate the sound in its exit. Don't open the makhraj. Don't open the don't part the jaws a lot. Otherwise, you are going to add a fatha. If I say yadkhu, this is okay. But if I say yadkhu, I added a fatha while I'm saying the qalqala. And then fi, we have 2 counts mad, a ya sukoon coming before it, a kasra, fi, and then di, also the same thing, 2 counts mad, a ya sukoon before it, a kasra. When we pronounce this dal, kasra, make sure that it does not have hams. Don't say di, otherwise it changes to a letter ta. They both have the same makhraj, same exit, but the difference is the hams. So be careful. It's di. How can I adjust it? I hold my breath while I'm pronouncing the dal kasra. So I say fi di, not fi ti. Okay? Fi dinillahi. Now, here is going to be cancelled. The lam shadda here. Is it the lam in the name of Allah? Is it going to be elevated or is it going to be lowered? We look at the letter that comes before it. If it's a kasra, then the lam is lowered in the name of Allah. So we say fi dinillahi, but we do not say fi dinillahi. There's difference between saying lahi and lahi. Okay? And then f. We have a hams here because it's a sukoon fa. F wa. 2 counts for the alif. I want you to notice that the fa and the waw both are pronounced from the lips. Okay? So let's give each letter its proper exit. F wa ja. This is mad iwad, okay, because of the fathatin. F wa ja. 2 counts alif. Very good. Okay. Now let us move further and let us see our last ayah in this surah. Fasabbih. We have 2 ba. We have a ba shadda here. Make sure that you pronounce the proper kasra. Fasabbih. Bih, not fasabbih. Okay? Fasabbih. And the ha has its because it's a ha sukoon, it has its hams and rakhawa. Bih. Okay? And then biham. This meme is in between. Remember? Don't forget this because it makes such a difference in your pronunciation. What are the letters of in between? They are lin, amar. Always remember it, okay? We keep on repeating and repeating. Biham. Otherwise, if we don't give it its correct time, then it's going to make qalqala. It's going to be like this. Biham, ham, and this is not correct. فسبح بحمد ربك. Here we have the ra elevated because it has a fatha. We have a ba shadda. Rabbi, make a good kasra, and then a kaf fatha. فسبح بحمد ربك. The scene runs because it's a sukoon. We are going to cancel the pronunciation of Hamzatul Wasli, and we are going to let the scene sukoon run. The sound of it runs, and it has a whistle. Wastal. Where is the elevated letter? It's the ghain. The ta is not. No other letter here is elevated. Okay? The ra is not because it has a kasra before it. Okay? So, wasta, not wastal. Okay? Be careful. Wastalfir. This is a ra sukoon. It's in between also. So, it's going to be fir. If I'm going to connect, I'm going to pronounce the dhamma. Wastalfirhu innahu. Okay? But if I'm stopping here, it needs a talent to be able to pronounce this. This is in between, and this is a very weak letter, but it has rakhawa and a lot of hams. So we have to push the ha after pronouncing the ra. واستغفره إنه. We have 2 counts for the noon shadda and 2 counts for this mad sila. We treat it exactly as the normal mad. إنه كان 2 counts, and then Tawwa, 2 counts for the alif. Make sure that the waw has rakhawa, so make sure that you let it run. Tawwaba, 2 counts for the alif. We all know that this meme is because the tanween coming after it, the basmala, in the next surah. Okay, so this is qalb, because the tanween, the noon sukoon, came after it, a ba in the basmala. Okay, so I hope that you find it beneficial, inshallah. And if you like, if you find it beneficial, helpful, whatever, send me a comment on my channel or a like so that we can communicate together and know exactly. If you have any suggestions, just let me know. Thank you so much for your attention and your attendance, and inshallah we meet in the coming recording, in the coming surah. May Allah accept all our deeds. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.